I had a flight that was supposed to leave out at 8:50 in the morning, and I got one of those phone calls, from our travel folks that Friday night, like, "Hey, your flight's been dropped. We rebooked you on like the 12 o'clock flight." I'm like, "Yeah, that's not gonna work because I got a meeting at 10, so I can't get in at 12." So I had to
Can be beautiful if you let it.
In the bowl.
Yo, what do you know? Welcome back to In the Bowl podcast. Shout out to Hustle 5 Ways for hosting, as always. I'm your host, Naz.
You got Tallman live from Dubai.
And as always, In the Bowl podcast is powered by your nation's own #1 mobile hookah provider, Sisha to you. But they not only do private events, they do distribution, wholesale, and take that experience to that next level. What's happening? What's going on?
What's going on, man? Hey, we had a little 2-week vacation. Now back at it. What's going on with you?
Now I'm back at it, man. Glad to be back in what they call the lab. Glad to be back in it. Lots been going on, lots been happening, but today's definitely a special day. We like to celebrate life and give flowers to those while they're here. And not just when they're gone. So we want to definitely do a special toast to my co-host. Man, happy birthday, dude. Happy birthday.
Hey, I appreciate it. Happy belated birthday.
I appreciate that. Cheers. But yeah, before we even kick it off, man, we got a couple folks that just wanted to say what's up. I know we always talk about, the MSU squad and, the crew and your alma mater and want to talk about that. Some folks you have even before that. So we want to just bring them on. They wanted to stop through the show and say what's up and show some love. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's happening?
Hey.
Not much. Happy birthday to Tog, man. What's going on? Happy belated.
Hey, man.
I appreciate it.
Hey, happy birthday, young fella.
Hey, I appreciate that, old man.
Nah, we definitely appreciate it. We got little George on. We got Ty, the realtor, on. We got some good folks in here who wanted to stop by, show some love, and definitely give you flowers and, just say what up.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, happy birthday to you.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah. Just want to say, man, once again, happy birthday, man. It's good to celebrate another birthday with you, brother. It's been a little while. Birthday's a week apart, so it's always good to celebrate the four of us within this week or so. So, man, always.
Yes, sir.
I'm in good company.
Appreciate it.
No doubt.
Appreciate it.
I know George
I'm
been
happy
around
to be a
for
part
a
of
minute.
this too. It's my first. Yeah, I'm happy to be a part of this. My first time on your podcast, so I'm actually gonna stick around for the whole thing.
All right. We always welcome guests. We sit there. We definitely welcome that. But yeah, we definitely just wanted to bring y'all on for a minute. Just say, happy birthday to our guy, Tall Man.
No doubt, man.
And as you mentioned, we had a couple birthdays.
Definitely.
Well, I'd be remiss, if I didn't shout out, our fallen brother. His birthday was, the day before mine. So just a toast and a shout out to the man Brandon Van Allen McKenzie Freeman, also known as Fat Man.
Yes.
Oh God.
Miss that guy, man.
Definitely. He may not be with us on Earth, but he is definitely continue living with us.
Exactly.
So what's up, man? What you doing for the birthday?
Oh man, about to hit this gym before work. got a full work day, probably birthday dinner this evening. Then tomorrow I got tagged host a social event. So it's actually a shisha event. So doing that this little spot around the corner that has some phenomenal Russian shisha, and probably fire the grill up this weekend. 3-day weekend. So hit the butcher, grab some stuff, try to unwind a little bit, but it's always something to do. But I'm gonna try to take a few minutes to enjoy the weekend. Because I missed Juneteenth weekend because I was traveling. So this 3-day weekend definitely gonna make sure I kick my feet up for at least 30 minutes or so, before getting back to adulting.
No, for sure. You got you. I noticed you've been hosting a couple cookouts lately, a couple little shindigs. You've been the host.
Well, I mean, nothing much has changed. The Rum Shack, in Silver Spring, shut down temporarily, but it's reopened. The Middle East, equities have now, kicked off. So I'm trying to, get folks together and take advantage of the pool and all that good stuff, man. So still trying to be a good host out here in these desert streets.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's definitely what's up. That's definitely what's up. Oh man, well definitely, Joe, man, I appreciate it. I know, like I said, y'all go back some years. I know y'all got some MSU stories. He's always shouting out MSU. He's shouting out his early years. And as you say, you're not getting older, you're getting
we got
wiser.
plenty. Yeah, we got plenty of those, but I don't think they're for the internet.
Those are the best stories.
We were some wild youngsters. We was definitely some wild youngsters.
Yeah, that's what's
And we
up.
came a long way, man. But proud of
Yeah,
everybody on this
absolutely,
podcast.
absolutely.
So.
That's the name of the game, right? That's the name of the game. But yeah, man. It's been crazy, man. We just got back from Italy. We just brought the little one back. And I'm not gonna lie, she's an MVP, man. Italy was a trip that goes down in the books. I think
Okay.
we see some picturesque folks, or picturesque, locations, places, some places that it's even some of the flight attendants or the airline folks I haven't even heard of. We've been through, and it was dope, man. It was like I felt like we kind of really lived that life for a minute, just in the sense of like just it's a slower thing than Rome. So we weren't in Rome, but we stopped in Rome, and yeah, man, it was a hell of a trip, man. It had definitely a roller coaster kind of vibe to it, right? And I first want to start off with like I said, how amazing the trip was.
All
but
right.
then I don't know, man. I think it just stamped it in the books of. I'm gonna tread lightly on the comments that I make because it kind of stamped as to why I'm more of a beach person.
Okay.
I like sand in my toes, right? I feel like the water is that calmness of the water, the ocean. It calms folks down, right? And they live a different speed or a different life.
Yeah. It's more laid back, more relaxed.
But there's some airlines, I'm not gonna lie. I won't name them right now until some other things happen. But there are some airlines that I would definitely tell you to stay the fuck away from. And I don't know, man. I think just Italy, man. It's like I think I've dealt with the number of local Italians that I want to deal with.
Interesting.
I think I've reached my max. You're
Okay.
to the point to where my patience, I think, is at a whole new level, right? And I reached it. I'm gonna leave it at that for right now until more.
Hey,
But well,
I'm glad y'all made it back, man. All these flight cancellations. Travelers getting a little crazy right now, man.
oh, that's the wild shit about it. I think that's what it is, right? I think people don't even realize, and we were talking about that even on the way back. I think traveling is just completely different nowadays. I think traveling is just, it's nowhere what it used to be, right? We talk about how traveling changed after 9/11,
Yeah,
but the pandemic, honestly, and then now you got the spike in gas prices. You got, airline folks going on strike. You got people who are out of work and people who didn't want to come back to work. So it's not as much personnel running, or, people doing the logistics on the flights. So, you
yeah,
never know if your flight's been canceled. They'll tell you it's canceled in the middle of the night when you got a 6 o'clock flight, or, for us, on our way there, we booked through one, right? We booked through one, and then, and I don't even no matter how much the tickets were. Like, it doesn't even matter how much the tickets were, right? They just like they have that attitude of like, you at the mercy of whatever we're gonna say, right? And it sucks
yeah,
because while you're on the flight going there, it's like, well, shit, I'm already here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of wish you would know that before you left. You would just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna cancel it." But yeah, man, these fools, man, they had us on the between like the delay and actually leaving, and then having us on the tarmac for what I'm saying, 3 hours, 2.5 hours. You
wow,
know, and I got what a 1 year old.
yeah, that's a lot.
Like I said, she is MVP. I'm not taking away from the trip, but the travel, like the fact that we was, because we missed our connecting flight,
Mm,
right? So we missed our connecting flight when we got to Rome, and then once we was in Rome, the fact that they didn't even put us on another flight or the next flight out, and had no idea, once they cancel your flight, the tracking on your bags also get canceled.
yeah,
So my bags were just kind of like in some fucking universe. Right, so they didn't put us on the next flight. And you got to think about it. In our bags with a 1 year old, think about what you got. You got food, you got certain things, especially if they're on certain diets and stuff like
yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you want your shit. We're packing car seats and strollers and shit. And, for a second, they were like, well, we're about to put it on one flight. They never put it on one flight. So now I got to
mm,
find it. So between the air and actually just traveling for the very first day, we was between airports for like 36 hours.
man,
And it's a 9 hour flight too, right? So it's not even, that, once you're in the air, it should be close to like a total of air time of like 10 hours.
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
because they were just so fucked up and they were just, I don't know, man. They was just wild. And I ain't see no black folks. I ain't see none of us. I mean, you saw folks probably just, maybe connected going somewhere else, but that was
yeah,
another big sign to me. It was just somewhere like, it was just, you just didn't feel that welcoming and that love. And yeah, I'm good on them. I'm good on it.
yeah, man. Italy's I mean, well, Europe in general is just a little different, but I mean, some countries, the balance of the diversity is totally different, and that goes back to like history. 'Cause, like, when I was in Paris, I mean, it was, black folks, African American folks, kind of all over the place. But that's because, a lot of folks, came from, North Africa and West Africa, migrated to France and, to speak French and things of that nature. But it is reassuring, when you see somebody else, you kind of give them that nod, like, hey, what's up? You don't know them from Adam, but just seeing
Yeah.
that face, it kind of gives that solidarity, But it's wild because I know I got some crazy airline stories. Well, Doha and Muscat, and I had a flight that was supposed to leave out at 8:50 in the morning, and I got one of those phone calls, from our travel folks that Friday night, like, hey, your flight's been dropped. We rebooked you on like the 12 o'clock flight. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work because I got a meeting at 10, so I can't get in at 12. So I had to take a flight at 5:25 in the morning and sit at the airport for 3 hours. Now granted, I wasn't traveling, with a toddler, I was solo, but just that inconvenience alone. So while I'm sitting there at the airport waiting for my folks to arrive, I'm sitting in front of the, little monitor that tells, when the planes are coming in and things of that nature. So the flight that I was supposed to be on ended up getting rebooked. So I'm sitting here watching, that flight arrive, the bags on the thing, all that stuff. I'm like, come on, man, this is just utterly insane that I'm sitting here for 3 hours because, we had a cookout, that Sunday, so I'm getting to bed at 11 o'clock. I'm waking back up at 2:30 or 2 o'clock to go to the airport, at 3 o'clock. So that whole day was just disrupted, by flight cancellations, so I get it, man. So I was watching the news over the weekend. I think they were saying like 700 flights were canceled or delayed on Friday. That there were like another 800 on Saturday, another projected 700 on Sunday. And this is peak time for travel. School is out. Folks are moving around. So one canceled flight or one missing a connection. I mean that can really just change the dynamics of the whole trip.
Facts.
Because like you said, I mean, 9, 10 hour flight. Now you can spend 36 hours traveling. I mean, that's a day and a half, for a flight that should take no more than, half a day. So that's a lot.
Facts, man. She didn't even bust a cry or nothing, man. She was just riding around, walking, and she was just chilling, right? And I think that's just, that's a blessing in itself right there. So, look at the glass half full, you know. My travel folks, man, they were solid. They was on point. They were just cool, calm, and collected. But I think for those who know me, you know what I'm saying. There are times where I can get kind of elevated, and it was just, I
Yeah,
think a couple times. I got there, right? And I know you believe in that little 80-20 rule shit. That shit's out the
80-20,
fuck.
you know it.
That shit's out the fucking window. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. When you fuck with mine, it's 100%, right? It's
Hey,
not
fair
half
enough.
stepping.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? Especially for someone who can't even speak for themselves. Like, I'm gonna have a problem. I'm gonna talk up for myself and them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then on the way back, like we up early. It's the day before that this flight company we go through. It's just like it just customer service with some shit. Then we got it fixed the day before, so we cool. All right, good. We wake up. We get to the airport at like what 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, "Yeah, well, you're not on
Mm.
this flight." And is our flight getting from where we were at back to Rome?
Okay.
And it's like, "Yeah, you're not on this flight." Yes, the fuck we are,
Wow.
right? So luckily we got there enough time. We were able to talk it through, and we got through and got on it. But it got to the point to where I was like, "Yeah, just get me the fuck up out of here."
Yeah.
If I stay here any longer, I'm gonna be here for a little while, and it's just. But then it makes me go back to think about, what they're doing to, us Americans, or just, I think that whole, Brittany Garner thing out there in Russia, I think I think it's fucked up because I think they, I don't know, trying to make examples or whatever that may be, you know what I'm saying? Especially, she's been there, since February.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's still there over a vape pen, and she goes there to practice off season and play in another league, you know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. And
Yeah.
I think
I
I
think
think
her
it's
trial's about to
intentional.
start. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to start, I think, on Friday, right? I think it's supposed to
Yeah.
be this week, right? July 1st. And it's just, but I just think what they're having to go through, like I was watching this clip on the news yesterday, not even this, I think it was a clip yesterday. They was talking about the trial coming up, having her walk through. They got a dog walking behind her, got her in handcuffs. They holding the handcuffs, like pulling her along. It's just fucked up of what they feel is okay.
Yeah.
So, whether people agree with how I feel or not, I can really give two shits about that. I just think it's fucked up. So they got
This
me
is
to that
crazy,
point
man.
now.
So outside of the travel logistics of coming and going, to Italy, how was everything else? As I saw some pictures, man. Looks like, y'all were really, living it up out there. The event y'all went to looked, pretty festive.
Yeah.
How was that?
I mean, it was dope. It was super dope. Like it was, we went out there for a wedding, and the wedding was, I'm not gonna lie, man, it was, I don't know, man. I felt like I was really engulfed in the culture for a minute, right? They like, it was endless amount of food. I mean, I think I drank enough wine for the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to the point where I was like, just keep bringing these bottles out. Just keep doing that. Keep doing that. It wasn't even my wedding. Like, I was, it was open bar. I was like, I still need to keep bringing this shit out. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool though. And the folks that got married definitely loved seeing the union. And
Yeah.
they had a little high chair for the little one at the table.
Yeah, I
You
saw
know,
that. I saw
and
somebody had a seat at the table.
yeah, she had a seat at the table. She wasn't sitting nobody's lap, and I thought it was cool, man. I thought they had nice little fireworks. They had a bar, they had the whole shebang. Of course, they had their cafe, their coffee. They wanted people to have their espressos. They had this huge dessert tray. I mean, just it was nice. Like it was really elegant. Like I felt I felt really part of it. Like it was cool. So I appreciate that. The beach was
That's what's
dope. The
up.
beaches were dope. So they got this place called the Maldives of the South of Italy, and I honestly think someone just stole the name, right? Because you think of the Maldives, like you think of the Maldives, right? But they had this
Exactly.
little beach bar in this other spot. So we did a couple extra days, obviously. So we did a couple of our
Yeah,
little
yeah.
tours, and we went to a spot called the Maldives of Italy. Honestly, is the restaurant's name of what it was. I don't think it was nowhere near the Maldives, but it was cool. Like we did a lot of the local shit. The water was
Okay.
nice, the sand was cool, and so it was cool. It was definitely cool, but it was that one part where you definitely should have known Italian to go to. We went to
Yeah.
the little beach where I guess they filmed like James Bond movies. That little small, little narrow area part of the beach where you walk
Okay.
down these rocks with these stones. So that was cool. We went to two different sides of it. So we definitely, like I said, the trip itself was amazing. It was some top notch shit right there.
That's what's up, man. And
So
how was the
yeah,
weather out
I
there?
got Italy, I got Italy out of my system, so I'm good on that. But the weather was great, man. The weather was shit. It was like I don't know, man. I think some days it got up to like 40 Celsius, right? So it's that close to 100.
Oh man, hey, look at you
Like,
speaking that Celsius talk.
yeah, I know, right? I started seeing it with Celsius everywhere, But it was cool though. It was hot, so that's why we made. I think every day, like especially when we had nothing to do, we made our trips to the beach, and
Yeah.
we got a little driver, kept it moving, and we were just good. But it got to the point to where, because of the travel, I didn't feel comfortable just being like, all right, you know, have the hotel get us a driver and drop us off, and then we'll get one coming back now. Like I told these fools, I said, I want a driver for the day. I need you to stay there and sit your ass here. Do not fucking leave.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, it gets to the point where I had to start controlling things. Where I was like, all right, look, you know what? Yeah, y'all ain't going nowhere. Y'all are gonna sit right here, and you're gonna just stay here. Be here when I get back.
No, I mean, but that makes sense, when you move around like that, especially, somewhere, in a foreign country, because having to try to, you know, find Ubers and taxis and all that stuff, and currency conversions, and if they take cards and all this stuff, man. If you just pay somebody and block off that day, it does make getting around a whole lot easier.
Yeah, it's gotta be simple. Then they were like, "Yeah, you wanna, you can go rent a car, or be this, or be that." Nah, fuck that. Listen, I just need you to sit here. I don't want you to do anything. I don't want you to do shit. I just need you to sit here. Just wait till I get back. So it was cool. Like I said, the trip was amazing. My little MVP, little star of the show, she was great.
Yeah.
So the missus, she held that shit down. She made sure the little one
Okay.
had everything she needed. So definitely hats off to me and my folks, just making sure shit was handled properly.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Because over here on this side, it's funny because Dubai is centrally located, so the flight to Doha is like 45 minutes. So it's like flying
Mm-hmm.
from DC to New York. And I was talking with one of my neighbors because Muscat's the same way, 45-minute flight. And we were talking before I flew out because he came over to the cookout, and he was just in Muscat like the week before I was, and he was like, I ended up driving because he was like, by the time you get to the airport, 2 hours before your flight and all that stuff of getting on the plane and then getting through customs, getting your bags, all that stuff. You spent about close to 4 hours, and it's like a
Yeah.
6-hour drive. So I was like, I kind of get it because you do with those short flights. It's like there is so much prep work involved just to fly for 45 minutes because
Yeah.
it's like by the time the flight took off. And one thing I can say about the airlines out on this side of the world is they still feed you and give you beverages, all that stuff on that 45-minute flight. Because by the time we got up in the air, they were coming down the aisle with the food cart and the beverage cart. By the time they got to the back of the plane, they were coming back to pick things up, and we were landing. So the flights were quick. But when you look at it, I got up at 2, got to the airport at 3, and had to wait for the flights. I mean, that was about 4 or 5 hours right there, so I get it. And, once you leave the major cities out here, it's like, you're out on the highway and, you're driving like 140 kilometers an hour, just open road, so you're doing about 90, to 100 miles an hour. So that ride really isn't that bad. But I do want to, go back out to Muscat and Doha again because I was working, so I didn't get to spend much time. It was a 3-day trip. So spent one day in Doha, pretty much maybe 36 hours, and then was right back up. Flying out to Muscat, and I was there for a day and a half. But it's crazy how even though these places are like 45 minutes away by flight, how different the climate is because you go to Doha and it's similar to Dubai, with the heat, but it wasn't as hot in my opinion. But then you go to Muscat, and man, temperature gets you because temperature says, hey, the high today is going to be 93 degrees, but they don't tell you about the 85% humidity. So it feels like 125 degrees. So you're coming out in the morning and you're just like, man, this is brutal starting the day off because in Dubai the humidity you feel it in the morning from the night because the humidity rises up at night. It's at night you be sitting outside and just sweating like, why am I sweating? The sun is down, it's 10 o'clock, why is it 115 degrees outside right now? But I'll tell you one thing though, moving around and 40 Celsius and 45 Celsius temperature with a suit on is not the answer, man. That was brutal.
Yeah. No, I pass on that.
Yeah, man. I'll take my polo shirt any day over a full blown suit because I was packing trying to find the lightest suits, and when I tell you I pulled out a khaki color suit, I hadn't worn that suit in like 5 years, but I was like, I need the lightest material possible for this endeavor. Even down to the shirt. I'm like, nah, I'm wearing just a white shirt. Don't want no color, nothing. I want to feel whatever breeze is coming my way. But but Doha was cool, because we're going out there in November. Me and a couple of guys for World Cup. So kind of got to do a little recon, to kind of see what's what with regards to hotels and stadiums and moving around. So that was nice. And then Muscat, out there. I mean, the hotels were just phenomenal. I didn't get to try the shisha in Doha, but I did try it in Muscat, as the hotel had a spot. So after dinner, I went down there and spent about an hour and a half and tried it out. And I was impressed. When I did the conversion, I mean, the price came out to about $17 US. So I'm like, man, $17 for a hookah. Man, you can't beat that, man.
That ain't bad. So that's the thing, man. Italy is at the place like where we was at. They didn't have no hookah spots. I saw you could buy some hookahs in some little tobacco shops or whatsoever, but nah, like they didn't have no hookah spots out there.
Ooh.
So it was rough, man. I was I was out there doing a little itching. I'm like, what's up, man? What's going on? So, that's another thing. This is one of those things where it's but you can find packs of cigarettes, you know what I'm saying, by the
Oh
tons.
yeah, cigarettes everywhere. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Cigarettes
you
and
know,
coffee, man.
cigarettes and coffee and gelato. You know what I'm
And
saying?
gelato, yeah.
You can find that. You can find that on every corner. It's just like the 7-Eleven. But other than that, man, like I said, man, it was a great trip. But yeah, they have no shisha out there. You could buy, your own hookah set up for the hotel. But yeah, it just, again, I think they cater to certain cultures, and that's just not one of the cultures or trends they cater to.
Yeah, man. That's wild, man. It seems like in that 2 week period that so much was happening, and so much was going on. Had the verses with Omarion and
Yeah,
Mario,
yeah. I heard
and
about it. I didn't
and
catch it yet.
yeah, I haven't caught it yet either. I've been just watching the highlights, and I think from the highlights, I think I'm good with that. As I think the verses was like 3 hours long, and the way my life is set up is I don't have an extra 3 hours to dedicate to that. So
Yeah, I'm good on that.
you know, yeah, the clips, they serve me well, serve
Give me
me
the cliff
well. But
notes.
exactly, because it's all the highlights. It's everything you need to see. How Mario, kicked it off, and that whole Omarion and I guess his brother, eating watermelon on stage. I really don't get, what that was about. I didn't even read the comments to, get the context behind it. I kind of just saw it and, just kept moving past that one. So, I really can't put too much, too much context behind, what that whole situation was about. But
Yeah.
I think hands down, the majority of folks agree that, Mario, Baltimore's own,
Mm,
took home the win in that one, man.
gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna catch the cliff notes on that one. I think I'm good on that versus. I was I used to fuck with like immature, but immature that's not a Mario. You know what I'm saying? That's his brother and them. So I think Mario was more of that B2K group.
Yeah. I kind of missed that window. I mean, they had a couple songs that may have came on the radio or a video or two, but I can safely and honestly say that there's no B2K on my phone now. Granted, when he had a solo career, he had a couple hits that may have made it into the rotation, but if we go to my Apple Music right now, out of my 50,000 songs on there, I don't think we're gonna find the Omarion or Maybach O, or how he was calling himself. I respect the guy for what he's done, but just not my taste of music.
Yeah, I was only played if someone was in the car. So no one else was, what I'm saying. If there wasn't, a lady in the car, that wasn't being played. And I think that was only played because I was trying to find something else to play. And that's because the radio was probably on. So it's definitely not in my Rolodex. I know that.
No. Now Mario, on the other hand, yeah, I got some Mario on there, man. I ride with that dude. So I was glad to see that. He came out and did his thing, man.
No, I can dig it. I can dig it. Speaking of, I don't know. I think I almost got caught, man. I almost got caught with some hoochie shorts on, man. Almost,
Whoa.
man. But it's only for swim trunks. Only for swim trunks, and I made sure I purposely got a larger size short so that it still hit the top of my knee. But there were certain times when I sat down, I felt kind of uncomfortable. Man, it was kind of a breeze. I don't know if I really enjoyed that too much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, You know, so that's just my
Oh
little
man, you
disclaimer. So if any pictures end up, circulating some way somehow, you know, it's
oh
not.
man, you
I
didn't
did
go
my
on native.
damnedest. I did my damnedest. I mean, granted, they fit in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they fit in, but yeah, it almost caught me. It almost caught me. And I was just thinking about last time we was talking, like, damn, here I go, got some fucking hoochie shorts on. Ain't this some shit? Fucking breeze going on. I'm like, ain't this some? But like I said, man, it was cool. It was a good time, and but yeah, that's one of my little personal quorums I had, but kept it moving.
Man, that's I'm glad that you brought that to the forefront because you got ahead of it because
Yeah,
due to this wonderful invention we have with social media, if a picture does happen to surface, I'm not gonna laugh too hard, because you kind of taking the wind out of my sails with having that gut wrenching laugh. But I'm still gonna fire you up though if the picture comes to light. But I appreciate your honesty and being open about that.
but you won't see it on my profile because I have selected an option that I must review anything that I get tagged on before it gets posted. So unfortunately, I have heightened my security on my social media to make sure nothing gets tagged or posted before I review. And I have been
It's all
known.
good. It's
No,
all
I've
good
been
because
known to decline a couple pictures, so it happens.
I'm gonna see because now that I have this invaluable information, we all in a couple of group texts together, so I may just throw something against the wall and see what sticks. I mean, you never know what may come from that. So that way the jokes can be kept and maintained, within the confines of a safe place.
That's cool. That's cool. I just gotta I have to have a sit down. I have to have a sit down. Like, all right, this is the do's and don'ts of what we are allowed to and not to share. So don't worry. I will have that sit down, and all the parties on my side will be notified as to what penalties and consequences will come from actions.
And while we're being open and honest, I too have something to get off my chest. As of lately, I have been watching Real Housewives of Dubai, with the lady, and it was more for educational purposes. I must put that disclaimer out there. We were just trying, see kind of, what's what, what they're saying, where they're going. May pick up on some brunch spots or, something
Yeah.
that, we overlooked and haven't seen. And I will say, thus far, they are giving a good portrayal of, life in Dubai because in one of the episodes, you know, someone had something going on in their pool and they ordered ice and the iceman came and dropped off these big blocks of ice in the pool and threw a dollar amount behind it. And I was like, oh wow, that's how much ice in the pool costs because when it gets hot here, it's like all the water is hot. Like right now, it's not beach season because
Mm-hmm.
it's like 125 degrees during the day, so the water is hot. So the water is like 80, 85 degrees, and I mean, usually you go to the pool, to the pool or to the ocean for something cool and refreshing.
Yeah.
You don't go to the beach, to go get in the hot tub.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they showed how you can utilize the ice for the pool and they talked about like dress codes and things like that because everybody thinks you come to Dubai you gotta wear a burqa and be covered up so they are hitting on some things that common misconceptions so that's what's up now the cast they have on there as usual. I mean it's a Real Housewives so it's a lot of personality and a lot of extraness but all in all, I'm going to continue to tune in for research purposes to make sure that I can relay, from my U.S. based eyes, kind of, what's what in Dubai. So that's
And
my disclaimer right there.
that's what we want to call it, research purposes. I hear you. I mean, every once in a while, I'm pretty sure you get you get caught into a conversation that happens on there, you be like, damn, you start interjecting. You be like, and you know, sometimes it could be a conversation piece. You be like, damn, you think they were wilding out for that inside and third, because they do be extra on them things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, just arguing over the stupidest shit. You know what I'm saying? There's so many other things out here in the world that are going on than you know what I'm saying, and then the shit that they be having on them shows. So I guess that's why they call it entertainment, because someone else's problem,
Exactly.
but it's stupid shit.
Exactly, and I've always said, and I stand by. You know, I'm not a person who likes, you know, a lot of drama. You know, in real life. You know, so when I tune into the TV, you know, for some drama, that's me getting my dose of drama.
I
You
get
know,
you.
that's it. But like I said, you know, the show is decent. You know, no complaints yet, and I will stick to, you know, for research purposes. But on another note, you know, because not too much is on TV right now. You know, because it's summertime, everybody's out and about. You know, so P Valley, you know, it's like that's like the weekly show to watch. And I'm not gonna lie, man, P Valley's been getting it's been getting a little wild. You know, there are a couple scenes, you know, where I gotta, you know, kind of leave the room for a couple of minutes and, you know, go freshen up the coals for the hookah or something, because it's different. It's different,
Yeah.
but they're making it do what they do. You know, I mean, each show, you know, still, you know, tune in and kind of, you know, see what's next. And you know, I really like how they, you know, infused, you know, the pandemic and, you know, COVID into it, and that's something. But that puts me back to another question, you know, with regards to masks. So when you were out in Italy, you know, what was the mask situation like?
COVID was non-existent. COVID was existent, should I say? My fault. Take it back. Masks were non-existent. I
Okay,
mean, you had some people who worked behind the counters. They had their masks when they had like people coming in their stores, or you know. But you know, flight attendants didn't have nothing on. You know, I'm gonna say 95% of people on the plane didn't have a mask on. Um, yeah, and they were just walking around free like there was nothing. They were packing in the restaurants inside and outside.
okay,
So you know, and when you think about it, like you just think about COVID, because you always think about just going overseas and being stuck in a plane. That was my another little issue with it, right? We're stuck in this airport for so long, and then or we're stuck on the tarmac inside the plane for an extra 4 hours.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So now you're just inside this little incubator, this little box, and you don't know what's going on. And the crazy thing was, our second leg when we were going over, it just so happened to be that there were these couple folks that were going to the wedding.
okay,
Um, And one of the people that were going to the wedding, who was actually like guest of the wedding, they had a plus one. It was their cousin of their folks.
all right,
One of the persons and one of the people, he got off the plane when we got. I guess you know everyone got to wherever their final destination. We ended up running into his guest one. I mean his plus one in the streets. You know, a day or two before the wedding. The day
okay,
before the wedding or whatever, and come to find out that the dude actually had COVID.
wow,
Not the plus one, but the actual guest, right?
man,
So they had COVID, and we all on this plane. So you know, they started not feeling
mm,
too well right before, so they took a test, and I don't know that thing was just so fucked up on so many levels. One, you're the plus one of the person who knows the people who are getting married, and you do all this stuff, you buy all your tickets, do all this shit, plan all this shit, and
yeah,
now you can't go because the people who are getting married don't know you. You flew out there to go to this wedding, and because
mm,
you can't go because the actual person who they know I got COVID, so they're like, yeah, no, I don't know. Like you the plus one, and I feel them too. Like you the plus one, and if the person who I know is not coming to the wedding, like, and that's your folks. I don't know how, you know what I'm saying, with that all dynamic, not dynamic, but you know what I'm saying, they were cousins. But they were like nah, like you can't come to the wedding because oh boy, you got COVID. So
ouch,
they couldn't get some of their refunds back, and that's another thing, man. Like I think people getting just so accustomed to COVID. Like I will sit there and say this. I encourage everyone, if you travel, get travel insurance. Fuck it.
Yeah,
because
it's
COVID
worth
is
it.
so COVID is just now it's a part of their norm, and they're not giving refunds. No flights, no
Nah,
hotels, no tours, no nothing. There's no sympathy
yeah,
if you have COVID or not. And if you catch it, you're just fucked.
yeah. The international trips, man. You talking about, thousands of dollars. I mean, for flights, hotels, and all that stuff. And that's non-refundable. I mean, no matter how much you're making. I mean, you take a 3, 4 thousand, $5,000 hit. I mean, that stings.
Yeah, no matter what. I mean, shit, they take $100 hit. You still like, what the fuck? Let's get my money back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want mines. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
no sympathy. If you and a lot of these things what they're doing now is these businesses they're making you just pay up front, right? And they tell you in there that it's non-refundable. You know what I'm saying? Just because they know you could get COVID, and just so they can keep their numbers right. You know what I mean? They're locking you in. So
yeah, yeah. You got to read that fine
it's
print.
fucked up. Gotta read that fine print. It's fucked up, man. That's just the way we are now. That's the way we are as a world.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't know, man. International travels. But it felt good though. Like I said, I mean, people been cooped up. I think it felt good getting out, seeing
yeah.
something
Getting
different.
away.
So again, just always just trying to see the glass half full. So I don't know, but like I said, I think with the COVID and mask and the rest of the world, whether they have high numbers or not, there's so many people out there that just don't believe in it. And a lot of it was being controlled by mandates, and now that mandates are being lifted,
Yeah,
they're like, well, if they're not making you. You got everything's on your own risk,
yeah.
and tensions are high. Like I remember even on the way back, we put this, my wife put her bag in the overhead, and Steve started moving it around. So I kind of had to, and it was over my head too, right? So I had to gently tap him in his ribs, like, hey, buddy,
Yeah,
what you
I'm right
doing?
here.
Yeah, man, I had to tap him in his ribs, and I mean, I was told I was a little more aggressive than I probably needed to be, but I'm like, one, why the fuck are you so close to me? That's one, and two, why are
Yeah,
you touching her
personal
purse?
space.
Like, yeah, and I
Yeah,
don't even touch her purse. Like, I sit there and be like, hey, give me something out of there, whatever. I don't even go into it. So what makes you think it's
nah,
okay for you to shift her shit around?
nah,
And it got my
you're
kid
right.
shit into it. So again, like I said, you fuck with mine. Unfortunately, I can't really help you after that, man. It's just where it's at.
No, but that's crazy because you bring up something and it made me think about there really needs to be some written or unwritten rules about overhead etiquette because especially with airlines charging for bags and everybody's bringing on more carry-ons so overheads become valuable real estate. Because on my flight back from Muscat to Dubai, there was a guy. He got on the plane. I swear he was like maybe the 20th to last person get on the plane. And my man is trying to put something overhead right by his seat. And it's like if you get on the plane that late, the chances of overhead being there are pretty slim. The
Very slim.
probability is not in your favor. And my man stood there for like 20 minutes because he's going back and forth with the flight attendant, like, nah, my bag is going right here. And they're like, sir, there's no space, there's no room. And I'm just sitting here watching this whole interaction, from the comfort of my exit row seat. And oh yeah, exit row seats, man. Even that 45-minute flight, man, it's mandatory. If
It
you're over
is.
6 feet, sitting, a regular seat is, I mean, it could be cool for that 45 minutes, but it's not the way to go. So I'm
Yeah.
sitting here, watching the whole interaction, and finally the flight attendant broke down, and just grabbed somebody else's bag and took it to the back of the plane. And I'm like, hold on, if that would have been my bag, it would have been a situation because
Yeah.
I got here on time to put my bag right here, so that way when the plane lands, I can grab my bag, get off. I'm not going to sit here and wait till the whole plane disembarks for me to walk all the way to the back of the plane, to get my stuff.
Yeah.
But I watched that whole interaction. I'm like, man, hey, it's not my bag, but still, I'm watching people, moving people's things around and try to squeeze things in. And I'm like, man, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. And not only that, I watched this dude get hustled out of his exit row seat. So this dude was sitting in front of the exit row, and he thought that the flight everybody had got on, so he got up and came to the exit row and took a window seat. I was like, hey, that was smart. You kind of got over on the game because the extra row seats were like $45 on this flight. My other flights, they didn't charge you. So I was like, all right, note to self, this airline charges for exit row seats, so we can factor that into the budget going forward. But I'm like, you kind of got over it. But then the guy who was sitting there got on the plane and he's talking to the guy. The guy's like, no, I'm going to sit here. You take my seat. And they're going back and forth. And I'm like, hold on. How are you going to tell me that you're going to take my seat? This is a paid seat.
And you go, you know what? Take mine. I'm going to take yours. You can go ahead and take mine. No, if I got paid for mine.
Exactly. And the dude went and sat down. I was like, oh, another situation. Couldn't have been me. But I was like, you know what? It's not me. So I'm cool. I'm going to sit right here. But I'm like, had that have been me, nah, man, dude would have been getting up and getting back into your economy seat. You're not going to sit here and take my paid seat and offer me, your seat like you're doing me a favor. Like, hey, no, you go ahead, you sit right here, man. That's all. You was good. I cleaned up. It's fine. I'm like, hell no, but
yeah,
man, needs to be some unwritten rules or some re-education in regards to overhead etiquette.
That's why I say traveling is different. And I'm not gonna lie, tensions are high. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what the next person just went through, right? And so I think even for me, when I tap, dude in his ribs, of like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm sitting down, right? And so, I do it gently, I do it nice, nice as I could possibly do it. But I had to, come on, buddy, back up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't push or shove. I was just like, yo, I need you to back the fuck up.
Exactly.
Give me my space. Unfortunately, I can't help you because if you didn't get on when I got on, I can't help you with that. I mean, I got here first. That's where it's at. So tensions are high, and I think, as now I understand all those videos when people get into it, on the airline, you know what I'm saying? When you're actually on the airplane, I can see how shit can go left real quick.
I agree with you. I don't agree, because I've seen the videos about people like falling out in the airport, laying on the ground, because, cancel flights. I somewhat get it and I somewhat don't get it. I can see if you're going somewhere and it's really important. I mean, if you're traveling to see, a sick parent or a sick relative and, this is your flight and time is of the essence. I kind of get it because I was watching a video and I guess this young lady, it was her birthday and, her flight got canceled and, she broke down crying and, I was like, all right, man, I don't know if, you got to be that emotional about it. But again, I mean, you don't know people's headspace and like you said, where they're coming from, so I kind of looked at it and, kind of shrugged it off. But, when you look at coming out of the pandemic, I mean, people haven't gone anywhere in 2 years and this is your first trip and, you go on one trip a year. I kind of get, the frustration and, the disappointment. I don't know if it has to go to that level of, falling out in the airport and having to get escorted by security and the police and things of that nature. But I get that emotions are running high. I understand.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think you got to be control of your emotions, right? You got to be able to control and not let them take you out of your element because that's when things go left, right? I mean, that's when shit can get real ugly, right? And then you let someone else who's going to continue on with their journey, with their life, and now you all hemmed up because, you couldn't control it, or make that rational decision. So, like I said, I get it. But, especially on the way there, I'm not going to lie, I think, you probably had one more person telling me to calm down before I wasn't going to calm down anymore. You know what I'm saying? Then,
Yeah, yeah,
you
because now
know,
you're
so
compounding things. I mean, if you're getting escorted out by security and the police, you're adding another dynamic, to your woes because now they're taking this whole unruly passenger and put people on
mhm.
ban lists where you can't fly on this airline, that airline. So I mean, you gotta think things through, and that's when it comes down to a
Yeah,
chess player versus a checkers player. If you make these
facts.
irrational decisions, then you got to live with the consequences because,
Facts.
if you're going that far, there definitely going to be some added consequences to your actions.
And the person you probably were mad at is probably gonna keep on moving because they chilling. They like, I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know
Yeah,
what happened, but I'm gonna keep going on my trip. And now you gotta go deal with them. And the person you probably mad at, you can't even deal with them no more. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like he said, now you just compounded all this shit on top of something that didn't need to happen at first, right? But
yeah,
unfortunately, that's just the way it is. And like I say, going over to certain places, I think us, we kind of get the short end of the stick, and we already going to be the ones that looked at as the aggressor.
yeah,
So I think about that. I think at the end of the day, like you say, so you make your bed, you lay in it. And so you got to think about all the people who are going to be impacted by it, right? And so everything I just kept thinking about, I was like, all right, if I keep on wilding out, I got to think about the little one. I got to think about the misses. I got to think about, what I'm saying, how's that going to impact their trip,
yeah.
and it's something that they're looking forward to and make that first experience or any experience worse than what it had to be. But it
This is
gets like
true.
that sometimes. I can see why it can go left.
Yeah,
I can definitely see
and
why it goes left.
and speaking of going left, because I know we're about to get out of here soon. You see the sun is up over my shoulder, so it's almost time to turn to Clark Kent. But R. Kelly, looks like that man just got sentenced to 30
See, I thought it
years.
was, damn. Yeah, man. But that's not even all of them either. Like, he's already done a few. He's got, what, 30 more? And now, he
Yeah,
still got stuff back in, what, Chicago he still got to deal with?
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, man. Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy of what they got to deal with.
Yeah,
And he made his bed, though, unfortunately, man. And
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, man, it's
it's unfortunate that his
life
mind
catching
was
up with
even
him.
in that place, right? His mind, or his actions, even that he was even about that, right? But that's again, as we always say, you make your bed, you lay in it.
Then we got the Nipsey Hussle trial. I mean, that's kicked off. So the accused, I heard that he couldn't make it to court. Because he got into an altercation in jail. So it's a lot of court cases playing out right now, man. But
Yeah.
I tell you, man, so much has happened. And then Airbnb made the announcement that that they are no longer allowing their guests to book residencies to throw parties.
Mm.
And I think that's going to have a wild spin on things. And I heard it's like a worldwide ban on Airbnbs being used for parties because I know that was a big income stream for them. So I just wondering how that's going to play out and if this is going to hold. Because they were saying that I guess during the pandemic, they had put certain things in place to try to limit the number of people gathering, to adhere to restrictions and things like that at various places, and they took that that limited ban and now made it permanent. So that'll be interesting
Mm.
to see how it plays out.
Yeah, like I said, I think now that things are really opening back up, I think we're gonna really start seeing the impact of what's happening and how things are gonna be handled moving forward. So yeah, just make sure, what I mean, make sure you do your reading up before you book anything. Read that fine print.
Yeah, exactly. The fine print is key, man. Hey, but before
Right.
we get out of here, man, anything else on your chest?
No, I think I got off my chest. I feel good now, I feel like I felt like I was able to talk about it, I felt like I was able to get off my chest. And we still got some things that we still handling from it, but all is well, all is well. Shit. This little one's gonna have more miles than I got, man. We loading up for another trip, so
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so we got seemed like a lot of folks are catching up on their weddings that they couldn't do during the pandemic. So things are good. Things are good. Life is good. We actually we just landed, obviously, and we about to fly right back out. So
Yeah,
prepping for
man.
that.
I'm mad I'm not gonna be able to join you all on this trip, man. But logistics wise,
Yeah,
it didn't work out. So I had pass the news on to the host, let them know that we wouldn't be in attendance. But
yeah,
gonna try to catch up with them before their job picks back up and
yeah,
gets going for the season. But hey, man, y'all enjoy that
yeah,
trip.
yeah,
Definitely have a beverage or two
for
on
sure,
our behalf, and we
for
will
sure.
will link up at some point somewhere.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Definitely make that happen. Definitely make that happen. We all be missed, and you know what I'm saying. We'll catch up on that one and let folks know what that was about. But it can
Yes,
only go up from there.
exactly, man. And before we get out of here, once again, shout out to Sheesh to you. Don't forget
As
that you can
always.
follow them on IG. You can follow us on Twitter at In the Bowl Pod. We are two highly opinionated individuals. So if we said something that you agree with, or disagree with, or that you just overall have comments on, definitely, hit us up, and we can talk. We're open to other views, so that's not a problem at all. And last but not least, don't forget to keep those hookahs clean after every use. Wash it out, prep it, so that way you are all set for your next smoking experience.
Facts.
So till next week, hey, we appreciate y'all.
And like always, click, like, and subscribe.
Hustle 5 Ways Radio.